Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to the Crossroads PlayStation podcast for Boss Rush Games. I am one of your hosts, LeRon Dawkins here, and pressing square right beside me this week is the PlayStation Doctor, Austin Campbell.
What's up?
What's going on with that Vita tonight? How you doing? How's it doing?
It's looking kind of lonely. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of lonely. Does it need the presence of a PlayStation 5? Does it need that?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good companion piece. I think that's what it's looking for. It's ready for Herbroxia 2, new twin stick space shooter that's coming out.
I love the fact that there are still new games coming out for that thing.
Yep.
It's insane. I love it.
And My Aunt is a Witch is another game coming out for it. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna get it.
It's an anime game.
Alright, the Typo Queen, Nelly Glott, has the week off, but don't worry, we have a full panel for you guys tonight here. This week we have a special guest joining us to talk about PlayStation All Things Gaming. Please welcome one of the co-hosts from Boss Rush Power Block Brigade, Dan Murphy.
How you guys doing tonight? Thanks for having me, Laurent.
Oh yeah, well yeah, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Also back in the hot seat and returning to join us tonight is the Bravo Redfield, right. Douglas Bravo.
How are you doing?
So
I couldn't leave.
Yeah, I know, just couldn't stay away.
Yeah.
So
it's like that song, you know. I tried so hard, but I couldn't get away.
So what's going on, guys? How's y'all week, man? I know it's only Tuesday, but you know, like people could have had a turbulent Monday. You know, Sunday could have been, you know, like a whatever. What do they call it? A snootful? Is that one of the terms I've heard people use? Yeah.
Is that even a word?
I don't even know.
It's a country word as far as I can tell. Like, not from my country, but you know.
As someone from the country, I've never heard anything of that nature.
It might be a Virginia thing then. I don't know. Like I live in Virginia. I don't know if I necessarily claim it. All right. Well, Cybermania is upon us. It's the run-up to the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, and a lot of gamers are getting foamy mouth just waiting for the most hotly anticipated game release from CD Projekt Red. Also, the Game Awards is happening this week, and while we're not going to talk about the Game Awards in depth, or do we need to give Jeff Keighley's love child that type of attention tonight? Do we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we can if we want.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, maybe.
Only because I know you don't care.
It's like you just drag me into it, kicking and screaming, don't you, man? But you know what? The cool thing is, like, our big topic tonight we're going to talk about what makes a good game that hot commodity. You know, that game that everybody must play. You know, that typical thing. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and get started. Let's do the housekeeping real fast. All right. So this is episode 15 of Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast of the Boss Rush Games. Each week we come together to bring you the latest news, rumors, games, and discussions in the world of PlayStation. Crossroads is live here on twitch.tv/Exodus803, Tuesday evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are glad for every single one of you out there that can join us and be a part of the conversation. If you're unable to join us live, be sure to head over to youtube.com/BossRushGames or any of your podcast services every Thursday to listen to the show. Remember to like, share, rate, subscribe, and review us wherever you check out our show. It helps us out immensely with our discoverability. And also, be sure to check out our family of podcast shows available on BossRushGames.com. All right, so before we get into the nice news and events, here are some blurbs, some PlayStation blurbs the Crossroads crew thought you might be interested in. We start off with Cyberpunk 2077 preloads for PS4 and PC begins rolling out. Yes, you know what? I sent you guys the picture in the chat. Like as soon as I saw the preload button on Steam for Cyberpunk, I was like, there goes 58 gigs of my hard drive.
It's gonna fully download, and then it'll be like, oh, canceled. It's gonna
I will lose my mind. Let's put it that way. I will lose my freaking mind.
What made you choose getting it on PC over a console?
Because I put a lot of money into upgrading my PC. Honestly, Cyberpunk was the thing for me. Like it was my next big purchase. Because let me see, because my big purchase before that was Monster Hunter for PC. Like I got that one on PS4 when it came out because there was a launch disparity between the console and the PC version. There was a 9-month gap between the console version coming out and the PC version coming out. Even though they announced like consoles and PCs, but they didn't say that the PC version was going to be delayed until right around February when the game launched, right before the game was going to launch. Yeah, so yeah, that kind of I felt like that kind of ruffled my feathers just a little bit. Yeah, but the Cyberpunk 2077 preload has officially begun rolling out on PS4 along with the PC version, which is available on GOG and Steam. For PlayStation gamers, beware. The Cyberpunk 27 preload weighs in at 102 gigabytes, depending on what region you're in. That has a lot of hard drive space, and just imagine, like, the PS5, the PS5 hard drive is going to get chewed up on that one.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm glad it's only at 58 gigs on PC. Like, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, at least maybe you won't need another game. It'll be so good you won't need another game for a while.
Yeah,
you won't have to worry about the hard drive.
You know, it's weird. Like they can't figure out like right now. Is it like a 20-hour game? Is it a 100-hour game? Is it a 180-hour game? No one can nail it down because I guess everyone's still messing with the early review copies, and they've only been able to play like 25 hours at max, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like one of those games that there's going to be so much to do, but maybe the main story is like a 30-hour run through. Yeah, right. Who the hell's going to do that?
Yeah,
I already have a feeling because like it has the RPG elements to it. I already have a feeling that a lot of your time is going to be spent grinding. There's going to be significant amounts of side quests and stuff to do, but a lot of your time is going to be spent grinding. Which because I've been seeing some of the early reviews and some of the early the early impressions of it, and a lot of people are saying like you immediately get hit with whiplash from all the selections you have to do like as soon as you get to the actual start of the game. And when I say the start of the game, I'm talking about past the prologue part of the game, you know, the stuff that we saw in that 45-minute playthrough that CD Projekt Red did a while back. We see past that stuff. But yeah, so I already feel like even though like the games might be beatable in a set amount of time, I already have a feeling I'm probably gonna be playing that game for like probably until Monster Hunter Rise comes out next year in March.
Now I have to ask. I assume we're all gonna play this game at some point in some time. Is there anyone not interested in this game?
It's not going to be day one for me because I want to clear a little bit of backlog, but
yeah.
I think it's going to be a Christmas gift to myself.
I'm probably gonna wait a bit because I'm playing through.
How long do you think you'll spend in the character creation? How long, estimated time, how long do you think you'll spend? Because I feel like I can spend almost 30, 45 minutes. And that's only if I'm dedicating myself.
For me, I'm the opposite. Like, anytime you have to customize your character, I just, like, mash through it, and I have the most, like, generic character ever, because I always just want to play the game.
I am the same way. I will use the default character, and I'm like, I need to just get started. I will use the default character in the quickness. I won't even change his name. If his name's already in there, let's say, it saves me 2 seconds to keep from having to punch his name in.
The name is just player for all of LeRon's characters.
So if his name is Bob, you're just going to leave it.
His name will be Bob because guess what? Like all the text and all that stuff is going to say his name. No, we can't be guaranteed it's going to say, you know, like whatever name you put in there. So you put like, we can't guarantee he's going to be called Steve. We can't be guaranteed he's going to be called Boom Shakalaka. So, you know, we might as well just keep the default name.
Shakalaka, I'm so dope.
All right. Our next blurb: Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, complete edition. Jeez, why do they do this to me? They put like 19 words and 20,000 syllables, you know, in their game title now, and it's like the hardest thing for me to pronounce without, you know, getting tongue tied. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, complete edition, PlayStation 4 release date confirmed for January. Whew. There we go. Ubisoft has confirmed on the official Scott Pilgrim Facebook page that Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game complete. I'm done saying that. will release for PS4 on January 14th, 2021. The game was originally set for a holiday 2020 release, but situations affected it, having the developers make a slight adjustment to the launch. Releasing for PS4 on the game, it will all releasing for PS4. The game will also be available on PS5 through backwards compatibility, which, you know, I'm always here for. Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
You know what?
I'm super excited.
Here's my thing about this. Like, it's cool that it is being released as a download game, but they need to do like a limited run games on it, so I can have a physical edition of it, because I was pissed because, you know, when it was out on PS3, I had it. I did not have a chance to beat it, and then I did something. I needed some hard drive space. Yeah, I needed like the whole 900 something gig something megabytes of space that the game took up. And then they took it off the store, and I couldn't re-download it, so I never beat it.
Did you ever check your downloads?
When you say my downloads, what do you mean? My save?
In the PlayStation Network. In the PlayStation Network,
No.
you can go view your downloads on the PS3, and whatever you downloaded before they took out of the store, you can still download.
Okay, no, I wasn't in that frame of mind back when that happened. Yeah, all I know is usually when they remove it from the store, if you do not have it physically on your system at the time, you can't get it back. So, as everyone learned with PT.
Yeah, well, PT was like a C and D order almost. Like, it's just like,
I still have PT on my PS4, so.
On your PS4?
Yeah,
it was PS4. It was PS4. I don't know why I was thinking PS4.
Yeah, the PS3, you have an opportunity. Whatever games that you bought that were either already taken out of the store, like, say for example, Marvel vs. Capcom Origins. They pulled that out of the store completely, along with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, when Disney bought out Marvel, and Capcom was no longer using the license for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had it already downloaded onto your PS3, you took it off of your PS3, you can re-download it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't know how to feel about Scott Pilgrim vs. the World coming back to the PS4, especially on the grounds that it just feels like they're just putting everything that they had on the PS3 and just moving it to the PS4. When I want more out of it, but if all we're getting is knives,
we're getting all the DLC.
Yeah, knives, Wallace, and then the multiplayer drop-in. I'm like,
well,
Doug, you do realize the day and age we're in with video games right now. Everything is coming back in some form, shape, or another. Everything is coming back, But
I was expecting a little bit more.
From Ubisoft? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
The reason Ubisoft probably would, but when it got announced, the creator Scott Pilgrim's like, "All right, it's coming back. Stop asking me about it." Like, that was his tweet. I think he was ready to move on from this thing. I think it was over. I personally love Scott Pilgrim. I love the movie. I love the comics. I love all of it. I actually am holding out and not buying it because they are Edgar Wright, who produced the movie. He said that they are doing more stuff. And so they're going to have a special edition soundtrack coming out, 10-year anniversary. So there's still a chance that there could be a limited run option on there, which I would 100% buy. Like, I would love to buy that, but
I'm going to hold out too. But I'm going to pay attention to the PlayStation blog just to make sure if I see news like Scott Pilgrim is leaving, then I'm like, okay, it's time for me to. It's time for me to do this.
Well, and if it's like The Hobbit or anything like that, you don't get a warning. It just took it off.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might not be able to do that either.
All right. So moving on. Let's see. Marvelous First Studio is recruiting for PS5 and Xbox Series X games. Okay, so just stick with me for a second here because some people might not recognize that name right off the bat. First Studio at Marvelous, that's actually the name of the studio. First Studio is the name of the developer, and Marvelous is the parent company, is actively recruiting new staff to work on multiple action RPG projects for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and next-gen consoles. Next-gen consoles. It sounds like we just alluded to like the Switch Pro coming.
Oh yeah, we did a whole speculation episode last night.
Oh, did y'all? I missed you guys last night. By the way, I'm sorry. I usually
we didn't go live. So
oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
Now, Dan, do you really think it's coming in April?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I told Ed
it's going to be in my hands in April.
I told Ed I'd eat my shoe if it doesn't come in April.
Dan has been the main cheerleader for it coming out in spring of 2021.
I can see it announced, but coming out, that's pretty bold. That's pretty bold.
It's coming out.
Now, are we going to get a live eating of that shoe, though?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bother. I was looking into shoe recipes a week ago, but then after talking about it last night, I'm like, you know what? My shoe is safe. My shoe is happy.
Oh, wow.
I feel like if they don't announce the Switch Pro coming out in April, or if it doesn't show up, I feel like Dan's gonna walk his way all the way up to Nintendo America and have a few words with.
No. That's Ed. You haven't met Ed yet, but Ed is hardcore like that, and we also believe that Ed has dirt on high ranking officials at Nintendo because I swear to you, sometimes he will say stuff and then like a month later it's happening and it's like, how'd you know that?
Does it have anything to do when No More Heroes just dropped the way that it did onto the Switch?
I see. I don't know about that particular one. All I know is like he's just got an uncanny knack for just seriously like calling some stuff out or predictiating things, and all of a sudden it shows up. Yeah. All right, so First Studio handled many games at Marvelous, such as Daemon X Machina, which has gotten mixed reviews, but still seems to be a pretty decent sell for the Switch. The Fate Extella series, which a lot of people know, as well as the Soul Sacrifice series, which that was the first game I came into that was on the PS Vita. It was supposed to be my Monster Hunter replacement, but it didn't quite fit the bill.
That's not bad.
It also participated in the development of God Eater 3, which is also another good series for Bandai Namco, and yeah, that's pretty much that. So yeah, so if you guys know anyone's looking for a job and can program and develop, hey, let them know. Like Marvelous, First Studio at Marvelous is looking. All right, and our last blurb, Activision is suing Netflix for allegedly stealing their chief financial officer.
I saw this. This is like some mafia move or something like that. Like,
yeah,
you not stole an idea, not stole a product, not stole blueprints.
You stole a whole person. You stole a whole person,
and we're coming after you.
This sounds like some another day in the office because I'm sure there's been some times that you be in the workplace and then some out of nowhere Joe Schmo that you're working with got offered a job at your rival company and he's getting paid more than what you are, and you're just like
this is a common occurrence in the NBA, so
for real. Yeah. All right, Activision Blizzard has announced that they are filing a lawsuit against Netflix for allegedly poaching their chief financial officer back in 2018. According to the company, Spencer Newman resigned from Activision on December 31st, 2018, and 2 days later announced his new CFO position at Netflix. This is despite signing a 3-year contract with Activision that would have ended on April 30th, 2020. So, I have questions here, but I think the main question is like, was he just tired of Activision's bullshit, or did Netflix give him a serious check?
I think both. And Activision Blizzard has been like going way down lately. I mean, they shut down a wing of their branch last year, and I think like another one's coming up on shutting down. So he's like, I better get out of here before I don't get a paycheck, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, like I mean severance packages are nice and stuff, but you still got to make sure you got a steady income after that.
Yeah.
All right, well, to get the scoop on all these blurbs, links have been provided in our Twitch stream chat. Go check them out and then continue the conversation with us on our Twitter page at @PS_Crossroads. All right, so before we get into the news and topics for tonight, we have some questions from our followers. So, how do we want to do this, Austin? Because we moved this from the back of the show to the basically the front of the show. How do we want to do this?
I mean, we just do the questions, right? Is that what?
All right. Let's. All right. Well, you know what?
Need the questions? Is that what you're telling me?
Okay.
Or you got them, right?
Yeah, I got them. Okay. I got them. All right. So you know what? All right, so our very own Celeste at Fairy Crypt asked us, which PlayStation exclusive series do you think needs some love on the PlayStation 5? I'm going to continue to say this. Jak and Daxter. I am going to continuously say this until it comes into being. Like, I turned on the store the other day, and all 4 Jak games are on there. You know, you can download them and play them via emulation, on PS5. But, where's the new one at? Is Jak and Daxter still a Naughty Dog franchise, by the way?
Yes.
I believe so. They still, Naughty Dog still has a tight hold on.
Well, I tell you what, they better slow down on some Last of Us and give me some damn Jak and Daxter.
We'll get into that later, actually, though. I have a theory on that.
Wasn't Jak and Daxter part of the that like PlayStation announcement, the PS5 announcement, and they showed all the games, and they had like a new Jak and Daxter game? Or am I making that up?
That was Ratchet and Clank.
That was Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's funny because Ratchet and Clank has actually outlived Jak and Daxter, and they came out about the same time. I want to say they came out within the same calendar year.
Yeah.
And Ratchet and Clank has always been a good series, but I don't know. Like I guess like my whole, because I played Jak and Daxter first, that's where my bias went.
Yeah, my bias is on Ratchet and Clank. I adore those games.
I love Ratchet and
Clank. I like Jak and Daxter too.
Yeah,
and Sly Cooper. Shout out to Sly Cooper as well.
Oh yeah, Sly. I don't think Sly Cooper is dead either. But isn't Sly Cooper like multi-console now? Haven't they gotten to the point where they're multiple platform now?
No, it's Sucker Punch.
Okay,
So
yeah,
Sucker Punch had it, and then Sanzaru Games made the last Sly Cooper game, Thieves in Time.
Mm-hmm.
But then Sanzaru got bought by Amazon. So right now, I think it went back to Sucker Punch, but it's still all on Sony what they want to do, because Thieves in Time didn't really do too well on sales, which is why they never got the DLC that was supposed to come out along with Thieves in Time and all that. Like, the idea was there to make it crossplay from the PS3 to the Vita, but I do want another Sly Cooper game. But
so Sly Cooper will be the Amazon Luna exclusive.
I mean, it might be, or it might have gone back to Sucker Punch, and whatever they decide to do with it, we'll go from there, because Sly Cooper, they still makes cameos in games. Like, they have a Sly Cooper set in Ghost of Tsushima, so that means that they haven't forgotten about the game. And in Infamous Second Son, they have like little tidbits from Sly Cooper in there.
Well, yeah, that's right, because the now I'm thinking about the precursor orbs show up in the Uncharted games. I remember, so there's still call-outs.
Cool.
Austin, did you?
I want Resistance. That's
yes,
it. I want Resistance. I'm Insomniac. I know has to make Spider-Man now, and I know they got Ratchet and Clank. But they're a big company. They can do it. They can make a Resistance, or at least give it to Blue Point and let them remaster 1, 2, and 3. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome, actually.
But, down the list. I think it's down.
Wait, you know what other game I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing Parappa the Rapper return.
No. No.
Yes.
The second one was so bad.
It was exactly,
so
yeah.
That's one of those games that like I really like in the nostalgia aspect.
Yeah.
But I think if I went back and played it, I'd be like, oh god, this is terrible.
No.
I leave it in the past where it belongs.
That's how I felt with the PS3 version.
I played it on the PS4 when they re-released it, and I was like, oh no, this is not. I should have done this. All
right, so
I mean, we can always ask for a Legacy of Kain game.
Legacy?
Wait, what studio was that? I forget.
I think it was like Eidos or something like that.
I think that whole wing is just done though. Like I don't think none of those guys are still around.
For some reason, I'm thinking of Kane and Lynch.
They were Silicon Knights, and then they were Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Interactive. Yeah, they had a bunch of different people work on there. I know Silicon Knights is no more, but Eidos and I think Crystal Dynamics are still around.
Well, I just got swallowed into Square Enix.
Oh, so it's a Square Enix.
Crystal Dynamics made the Avengers game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it got swallowed into Square Enix, then it's a Square Enix game. So it's whatever Square wants to do.
Yeah. All right. So Dan, before we ask you what franchise you would come back, what's your PlayStation pedigree like? I forgot to ask you that at the beginning of the show.
I've always been like a 2-system guy. Mm-hmm. PlayStation has always been my primary system, and then Nintendo has been my backup system until the Switch came out. Now the Switch is like my primary because I travel a lot for work, so I bring it everywhere.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
And I haven't been able to play PlayStation 4 as much as I want to, so I've only really played the hits and not really dove into a lot of the backlog of PS4. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big PlayStation guy, so.
All right.
And the one I want to bring back is Legend of Dragoon. That was like one of my favorite.
Nice. Yes, yeah. You know, when I was big into modding the PSP and stuff like that, like that was one of the first games that I actually flashed to the memory card to be able to play, because at that time I still don't think Legend of Dragoon was actually playable. Like they actually released it for PSP. I could be wrong. If anyone out in the audience in the Twitch chat knows, like please let me know. I don't remember for sure, but I don't remember buying it, later. I remember I had to make my own ROM for it. But that's a good one, and I love the combat system.
Yeah, like it was so good. I don't know why we never saw it again. The story was great. I mean, I don't know if it holds up well because this game came out in the 90s, but like that's a game I would love to see revamped, and I'm a big fan of JRPGs, so yeah, bring back Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to Medieval because the remaster came out.
And the remaster crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a fan out there. You got a fan out there in the chat, by the way, Dan. he's liking what you're putting down about Legend of Dragoon.
There we go.
All right, so our next question is from our very own Logan. We miss you, guy. Right, Austin? We miss him, right?
No. I still have to see him every week. I don't have time to miss him.
All right, Logan asks, what game didn't need a sequel? So many games are deserving of sequels, but some games shouldn't have had another one come after it. What are they?
Ooh.
Man,
I say this all the time. I say this all the time with like Hollywood movies. Like there's movies that should not have gotten a sequel, and then we get a sequel, and then there's like this monster that should not have been yanked up out of the ground and whatnot. But with gaming, I feel like it's hard because even stinkers. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I take that back. What was the game? It was the Army of Two. The first game was okay. But I do not believe that it should have gotten a sequel.
What was the sequel? The 40th Day?
No, there was that one and Devil's Cartel.
Devil's Cartel. That was a sequel.
Yeah.
The problem...
And I only got it because they said Big Boy and B.O.B. was going to be in it. And they were for 2 seconds. And then they were out.
Yeah.
The difficult part about this question is, like, typically a game comes out, right? And they see all the flaws with it and they kind of fix it and they build upon their first game to make the second game better, right? So that's kind of like the tough part of this question. I think the only thing I can come up with was there was a second Parasite Eve and that game was crap and I loved the first game.
You know what? That's a good one too, honestly. Parasite Eve, in my opinion, deserves a sequel, but it doesn't seem to have gotten the correct sequel.
Yeah, or just something that was like really similar to the first game with how the battle system worked.
Yeah, the battle system was just completely different, and it was like, why?
We haven't seen anything like it since that game either.
No,
you know, I would love to see something like that.
No, they came out with a third game, the Third Birthday, but no one talks about it because of how godforsaken.
Well, a lot of people couldn't even play it because it was on a system that most people refused to buy.
Yeah, it was on the
PSP.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know,
I missed
like,
out on the
PSP wasn't
PSP.
bad.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't have a PSP either. That was the one console I missed.
I've had every Sony handheld. It's not like they've had many, but I've had every Sony handheld so far. And if they decide to make a new handheld or a new Vita or whatever they want to call it, I will probably get that one too.
100%.
Yeah,
was Crisis Core good?
Yeah,
Crisis Core was good.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Crisis Core is probably the best out of all those Final Fantasy VII project games they made after the original Final Fantasy VII it released.
Yeah.
Because Dirge Cerberus wasn't it?
This dude said Mario Party in the chat, and I don't appreciate the disrespect of Mario Party. Except for 9 and 10, they suck.
No. Mario Kart shouldn't have gotten a sequel.
Hold on.
Get out of here!
Hey,
Get out of here!
Look,
I'm out. See you later. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Look, to be fair, Square Enix was in an experimental phase when they were trying out Dirge of Cerberus. So they wanted to see what they can do with one specific character instead of
No. They milked everybody's love for Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
And then they repeated that love that everyone they repeated that abuse of everyone's love with Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 13, and they damn near try to repeat that abuse of everybody's love for Final Fantasy 15, but I guess they're like, you know what, we need to make a new game, so that's why we have 16 coming out next year.
The exploitation on Final Fantasy 15 was awful. I mean, it was so bad. They were expecting everybody to just love this game so much that we have to watch animes before the game came out. We had to watch a movie so the story made sense. And it was like, and now we have to download DLC to see what happens when like Gladio's like, hey, yeah, I'll see you later. He's gone for a chapter. That game drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I wish people liked Final Fantasy 9 as much as they liked 7.
I love 9. It's my favorite Final Fantasy.
So it's mine.
I feel it's too retro. I think I said this in a previous show. Like I love. Yeah, I actually said it when we talked about the initial for Final Fantasy 16, where I was like, I think I might have a hard time because it's completely medieval. It's back to like its fantasy roots, and I'm more of the techno fantasy, like the mixture of technology and fantasy. That's why games like Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 to a certain degree. I'm pretty sure Mamoru's not in the chat tonight. But yeah, but for the most part, those games, like I feel like I've always had a better connection to those games because it's technology and fantasy, and it's easier for me to get into a game that has sci-fi elements into it than just complete fantasy elements. I just have a hard time with straight fantasy because it's something about my brain can't just latch on to magic. Like it happens because it can happen. It's like, no, there's a scientific explanation
you need some scientific breakdown on
be
how
like
it happens.
There's a scientific explanation for how you just threw fire from your hand. Like, you tell me.
But when they go the totally opposite direction, like Final Fantasy 13, like people complain about Final Fantasy 13 and its linearity being its problem. I thought that was the least of its problems.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get on board with any of the story in Final Fantasy 13.
It was a bore. Like I watched a friend play a lot of it. It was a bore.
The game had if it was complained about so much, it must have done really good too to have 3 games.
No. That's not it. Actually, Final Fantasy 13 made great numbers in initial sales because it was the next Final Fantasy game and the base wanted a Final Fantasy game. But the sequels that came out following it were very lackluster in sales. Like it didn't do anything. You know, Square Enix has enough money in the coffers that they can throw out a couple of stinkers back to back and not really be hurt.
I heard the sequels got better, but I was never willing to.
Lightning Returns is the better of
that's the third one, right?
Yeah.
Like I've heard that's actually like a good game.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's a game here now. There's a Final Fantasy game here now.
Now I can play Final Fantasy 13.
Now, to go back to the question, and I'm going to say something a little controversial, but I don't mean it in a bad way, and that's Last of Us. I didn't want a sequel to Last of Us. I didn't want it. I wanted it to be the end of that. I thought it was a great game by itself.
You know what?
Now that we have a sequel,
that's a good conversation point because
and I agree with you, Austin, completely. I feel like Last of Us should have been broken down into like a series of some sort, to where it's not a series. Hold on. Yes, just throw me one. Jesus.
What do you get?
Bread. But anyways, I feel like since HBO Max is getting ready to do a Last of Us series, I feel like the game itself, because it shouldn't have had a sequel more or less, but they should have done something to kind of build up to where it can catch the attention of people.
Here's my main reasons why I feel like The Last of Us should not have had a sequel. First, starting off with the way the first game ended was brilliant. It was one of the best endings I've seen in a video game ever. And and I will say this. It doesn't matter if it's movies, television shows, video games. The ending is sometimes the hardest thing to stick. It's like being in gymnastics. Like everything you do doesn't matter if you can't stick the landing. And that's basically how endings are. So, The Last of Us ending was brilliant, and it left room for the imagination. It left me thinking, you know what? I'm happy with the way this resolves, but my headcanon already has this and this and this going on, and it's perfect. Now, the other reason why I say that the game should not have gotten a sequel is because Neil Druckmann said as soon as they had finished the game and it got all of its awards and stuff, that he was moving on, he was ready. They had no plans for a sequel because they had not thought anything out of the story. So
that was a lie.
No.
Sony was like,
no.
Not done.
I believe him because The Last of Us was like his baby.
Yeah.
I believe him when he says he had no plans for a sequel. I believe him when he says that. Now, that might just be my blind adoration for the guy or whatnot, but as a writer, because I write, and I haven't written anything serious in a long time, but as a writer, I used to write stuff, and there were stories I got to, and I was like, you know what? This is it. This is the end. And never came back to those characters. Some characters may have gotten borrowed into a new story, but it wasn't about them. But as a writer, when you turn around and say like you're done with something, like 9 times out of 10 you're truly done with it, because you feel like you've done what you've invested in for these characters to get up off the ground. And The Last of Us, what was perfect about The Last of Us, and I feel like we're about to be just The Last of Us show now instead of the Cyberpunk show, which might be a change for a night.
Oh my god.
The good thing about
Better hope Neil Druckmann isn't watching.
hey, I need a job. I need a writing job. Well,
Hey, I love Neil Druckmann. Okay, I just didn't think like, hey, you didn't need another one.
Hey,
you didn't need to. But now that we got
we
one,
just need
I'm
to,
gonna play it.
We just need to negotiate a contract so my current job doesn't come after us. but one of the amazing things about The Last of Us, in my serious opinion, is the fact that we saw character growth and development from not just one character, but from 3 different characters in that game. As we played the game, we saw things that happened to Joel, we saw things that happened to Ellie, and we saw things that happened with what's her name that he left behind, at the compound to start taking Ellie on the journey. We saw all this growth and all all these characters and stuff like that. And video games don't always get. As a matter of fact, I want to say the bulk of a lot of video games, you never see actual character growth and development while you're playing a game. You just see, oh, this guy's a badass and all he's going to do is shoot and kill stuff. Or you see this woman, she's good at sneaking around and doing things, and that's her thing. You don't really see growth. And that's why I feel like The Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece. I have The Last of Us 2. I'll eventually start playing it. But Cyberpunk is coming, so it'll probably get played next summer.
Well, I'm waiting just so I could play it on PS5 because I didn't want my PS4 screaming and acting like a jet plane at me while I play it. But I'm really really excited for the game. I've been spoiled to death about it. Unfortunately, I mean it was everywhere. Like you couldn't avoid it if you really wanted to.
When the leaks dropped. That was just, to me, I'm like, this is the end of this.
Doug,
series.
Every time I talk to you, you always bring up the leaks. Did you look at the leaks, Doug?
Yes.
Okay, now I understand your complete disdain for the game, and because I remember telling you.
I looked at the leaks. I watched people play it. I made my own decision. I watched people get bullied in groups for not wanting to play the game, and the way that they were bullied. Oh. You probably can't afford the game. That's why you're hating on the game.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Like I've seen people throw that around, fucking shame people for not wanting to spend $60 on a game that they just feel probably after watching a bit of the story or something or getting wind of the leaks, they're like, I'm not spending my money on that.
Mm.
Like.
I feel like go ahead.
There's more than one way to go about it, but if you like the game, I'm not going to shame you. That's fine. You like the game. Mm-hmm. But don't jump on me or anyone else that doesn't want to throw their money on a game that they feel isn't worth their time, that they could probably spend their money on something else, like Ghost of Tsushima, or Sekiro, and don't just sit here and just assume I'm broke and don't have the money to spend at home. Obviously, if I'm a gamer, I'm gonna have money to spend. Like we're all supposed to be in this together, but there's some sort of cancer that comes along with it that you guys can't, fucking.
It's like I said earlier. Like the gaming community is hyper toxic. It's incredible. It's incredible.
But it's such a small minority, but they're so vocal that's what you see.
Yeah, you see it all the time.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I have so many friends that game and are part of just like love the games that they play. And you don't hear from any of them. They don't even know what the hell goes on Twitter.
Right.
You
Right.
know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
they live in
out of the equation. There's no toxicity in the world.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was good. And you know what? That was actually a good segue into our first news and events topic for the night. And that is Neil Druckmann has been promoted to co-president of Naughty Dog. So yes. So that's a big congratulations for that guy right there. It's not like I know everybody that's at Naughty Dog, but I can't think of someone who doesn't deserve it more.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Mm-hmm. Look at you being the philosopher. Which Resident Evil character said that?
None. I've never heard a Resident Evil character say that. So
All right. So Neil Druckmann, as you all know, was the creative director of Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Parts 1 and 2. Druckmann has been serving as the vice president of Naughty Dog for almost 3 years. So this is a nice tenure to get a promotion off of. Like 3 years. Like some people are at companies for their entire career before they get that high up the chain. Yeah. Naughty Dog president Evan Wells had this to say about it. We have such an incredible team at Naughty Dog, and being able to work alongside each and every one of them is especially meaningful these days. I feel proud of the team when I'm able to recognize their accomplishments and contributions to the studio. Please join me in giving them all a big congratulations. Druckmann via Twitter also commented on his promotion about the role that he'll be having with the company, saying that he'll continue writing and directing at the studio while helping to mentor the next wave of creators. You know what? I like this statement because it almost kind of feels like Casey Hudson and Mark Darrow's statement. It's similar, even though they were saying that they're moving on from a company they've been with for 20 years, things like that, with the whole them leaving BioWare and stuff like that. But this kind of rings in the same. Like he's moving from a different position into a higher position, but he's saying that he's also looking forward to working with the next wave of talent that's coming into the companies and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Druckmann's promotion also saw a couple of others getting a job change as well, with Allison Maury and Christian Gerling filling the role that Neil left behind as co-vice presidents of Naughty Dog. Maury was previously the Naughty Dog director of operations, while Gerling was previously co-director of programming. So yeah, I'm curious. Do you guys think that the promotion came after Last of Us starting to sweep all these award shows? I mean, Naughty Dog and Last of Us got 6 golden joysticks a couple of weeks ago, and Game Awards is right around the corner, and we're pretty sure like I'm not gonna say it's gonna get a grand slam and stuff like that, but it's gonna get a couple awards.
I mean, it's a possibility, you know.
I think it was a long time coming.
Yeah,
for sure.
Everything he touches goes to gold. Why not make him the co-president?
Yeah, and actually, you know what? Being the creative director of Uncharted 4, that says something, because he took over that spot after Amy Hennig stepped down and went to EA to work with Visceral Games for the start.
Was she the original writer for Uncharted?
For the first 3 games, yeah.
Oh, so she stepped down. Like I heard otherwise.
She left. No, she left. She didn't get. As far as I know, she didn't get asked to leave.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, every company that she's been affiliated with, she's left on her own terms. She's no longer with EA, and she left on her own terms on that. Even though like EA screwed around and like killed some things, and like a major Star Wars project that she was working on now that a lot of people were saying was Uncharted Star Wars, basically, from been gleaming of previews and stuff like that.
They probably gave her a loot box instead of a paycheck at EA.
So depending on the loot box, it was whatever she got paid.
Yeah.
You can have this paycheck, or you can have the mystery box. Well, I got to go with the mystery box. I mean, the mystery box could be anything.
And
it could be another paycheck.
And inside the mystery box was a freaking Funko Pop of Jango Fett.
I mean, it could have been, an orange or something. Oh, here's your health care. Happy,
I do think that maybe it was time for Neil Druckmann to get this job, because we don't want to lose him like we lost Amy Hennig. Like, let's make him top dog around here. Let's make him let's make this his whole thing. And now he doesn't just look over one game or one aspect. Maybe he can launch into multiple different games. Mm-hmm. So that to me, I mean, it just sounds like his role is going to get bigger. He's going to get to have more creative freedom to do what he wants. And I'm all for it. And even though I haven't played 2, just don't make another Last of Us. I feel like move on.
I mean, look, they're already getting ready to begin milking the series with an actual HBO live action.
Well, that's Sony though. That's Sony wanting that. Like I said, I still believe the guy when he originally said that he was moving on from Last of Us. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next.
I think of that meme where it's from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where you got the one guy trying to save the other guy, and then you got Danny DeVito with the stick talking about, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like Neil Druckmann is reaching out to a brand new game, and then Sony's like, "No, you don't."
Actually,
So Austin, do you actually like The Last of Us 2? That's the.
No, I haven't got to play it yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I really want to though. I want to play it. I just was, I always thought Last of Us should have just stopped right there.
Yeah.
But then once it was out there, I was like, okay, now I kind of want it.
I haven't played the second one for all the reasons LeRon said earlier about just like it was wrapped up perfectly.
And I loved the first game from start to finish. I even did love the Left Behind, Last of Us Left Behind. And like I feel like those games alone just kind of defined it in its own way. Like it didn't really need a sequel. It told the story that it needed to about just a couple of people trying to survive and build some sort of relationship all in the process. Like I felt like the story alone there was perfect.
Yep, agreed.
What the?
All right, so that was a pretty short news topic. So let's just go right into our next one. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Season 1 has been delayed. All right, did anyone see that coming?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. This happened last year with Modern Warfare. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There was delays for all the seasons, man. Like almost every season had a delay.
Okay, so it's a trend. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. So the news goes: the first season of new content for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, as well as Call of Duty Warzone, has been delayed. Activision editorial manager David Hodgson confirmed that Season 1 has been moved back from December 10th, which happens to be the release date for Cyberpunk, to December 16th. Hodgson explained that for the unprecedented update to occur, Treyarch is taking a few more days to finalize everything before unleashing the massive drop of new free content to the community. For those needing an idea of the scope of this update has been touted as the largest free content drop in Black Ops history. No official word was given on what caused delay, but there was confirmation that COD Warzone is getting a new map as well. There is some good news, though. In an effort to thank the players for their continued support and patience and to help level up before Season 1, Treyarch will be enabling double XP and double weapon XP in Black Ops Cold War from 10 a.m. Pacific time starting on Saturday, December 12th until launch of Season 1. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good.
I'll be there. I will be there.
Oh, by the way, Austin, I did secure myself a copy of Cold War. I went through Walmart. The only problem is they don't have a damn copy ready for me to pick up yet, so it's paid for, but I don't have it.
Wait, so you bought it?
I bought it for online pick. I bought it for in-store pickup.
Okay.
It said it would be ready by 8 p.m. Last night.
Uh-huh.
At 7:53 p.m., they're like, "We're still having trouble processing your order. We will send you an update when it's ready for pickup."
They still charge you. They already took it out of your account and everything.
So they got until tomorrow afternoon, and then I'm cancel the order.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Was it? So it was $60 because you bought the PS5 version.
It was $60. It was $60. Yeah. So because I took your advice, like you buy games and you buy physical copies at Walmart, you get $10 off. So I thank you for that. Because my PS5 SSD, is gasping for air right now. Like it won't let me do an update from Monster Hunter because I need space.
Call of Duty.
Wow.
I mean, which you're only gonna play the campaign, so you can just undownload the Warzone part. Make sure it doesn't download because that would be a big chunk of it, but it's still gonna take quite a bit of your.
Wait! Isn't Warzone the one that people play on PC right now?
Yeah. Warzone was made with Modern Warfare, but they carried it over to play with Cold War.
I didn't know that.
So they're making Warzone an ongoing thing, but the multiplayer and campaign is different.
I didn't know that because the last Call of Duty game I actively played was Infinite Warfare.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm sorry, Advanced Warfare. What was the one with Kevin Spacey?
Advanced Warfare.
Okay, yeah, that was the last one I played.
Oh, wow, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard.
Yeah.
We do not endorse Kevin Spacey.
No, we do not. We do not.
That's why I said, ooh.
I don't endorse Advanced Warfare either. You can skip that one.
I'll tell you the last Call of Duty games I played was, I think, Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Those aren't bad ones to end on. I will say that.
Yeah, and then I just kind of left the scene because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you should totally play because you served in the military," and I'm just like, "Nah, that's
not a good reason. That's not a good reason."
Yeah, I'm like, that's not a good reason for me to keep playing. That's a shitty reason. I don't want to think about work after I'm off work.
after I've retired from work, I don't want to think about work.
That's like me coming home and playing Factory Simulator.
I mean, I would rather play I Am Bread than play Call of Duty. I'm sorry.
I Am Bread is not a bad game.
That's why I said that. Like that, I would rather play I Am Bread before I ever play another Call of Duty game.
I am the worst Call of Duty player you'll ever see. My friends only let me play with them when they're shit-faced. So where they don't care if I'm 2 and 17.
Oh yeah, I'm the worst too. That's why I was going to buy the PC version and play my online, my single player campaign and just move on. All right, to wrap this one up, the developer is also offering 2 free bundles of to Cold War players, featuring skins, weapon charms, blueprints, reticles, and a calling card. To claim the bundles, you'll simply need to log into Black Ops Cold War between December the 8th, which is right now, and December 15th.
Get it.
All right, so you know it's not a Crossroads show if we don't talk about Cyberpunk. So here goes. Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a 43 gigabyte patch before its launch. Okay, so everyone knows that 99% of all games receive a day one patch immediately following the launch, but a pre-patch?
I mean,
but hey, I preloaded my copy last night. It's ready to go.
If Cyberpunk tells me like, hey, once we get download on your console, no other games will work on your console, I'll be like, okay.
You know what, Austin? Okay. You know what, Austin? You just made me paranoid for a second. Let me check let me check Steam for a second here. Yes, it is completely downloaded. All right, yes, I'm good. I'm in there. All right, but yeah, you've heard that correctly. A pre-patch. A HEV is launched this week. Next week. I'm sorry, I wrote that last week. A HEV is launched this week. Cyberpunk 2077 is receiving a sizable patch, and it appears that this is just a precursor to the actual day one patch. So yeah, this is not the day one patch. This is the patch before the day one patch, because apparently, okay, we all know, like, there's been people who's been out there playing early copies and review copies and stuff like that, and if anything, they're helping beta test the game by getting all the glitches and everything out there. So yeah, this pre-patch technically is a patch that's affecting everybody that's currently playing the game for review purposes. So you know, don't get all upset and everything. You know, these things happen in the games. At least they're trying to patch the game as much as possible before the game comes out.
Yeah.
All right. YouTuber Dreamcast guy, who claims to have a review copy of the game, uploaded a picture to Twitter stating that Cyberpunk 2077 has a 43 gigabyte day one patch, sharing a screenshot that says CP77 needs an update. The size of the update is around 43.5 gigabytes. In response to Dreamcast guy's tweet, CDPR PR manager Fabian Dola chimed in. I swear, this is the worst show tonight with all these words and pronunciations and syllables. Fabian Dola chimed in saying, "It's an update, but fun twist, not the update we'll have for launch." That suggested this is a pre-release update, and there'll also be a day one patch to download when the game releases on December 10th. Let me ask you guys a question, because Dan, I think I already know how you feel about this, because we've had conversations in the Boss Rush chat. I am indifferent to day one patches. I really am. I feel like it's the nature of the beast, and I come from I come from a day and age where, like, when you got the game, that was the game. Like, bugs, glitches, and all. There was no such thing as internet and freaking firmware updates and stuff like that. So when you got your copy of Street Fighter 2 and Chun-Li was doing freaking lightning kicks, in the middle of the air and stuff. Hey, that was the game.
Yeah, that's it.
Or you got Guile doing like the handcuff glitch to where he's just got you trapped really close and you can't get out of it. That was it. You had to just deal.
Us Tekken gamers call that jailing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why anyone would be bothered by a patch. Like, if you're out there making your game better, go for it. I'm here to work with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have always been worse. We could have been paying $60, now $70 for a game, and we just get a broken mess that never gets fixed. Oh, wait a minute. We do pay that much money, and games never get fixed sometimes.
Depending on the game.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, just look at it this way. At least CD Projekt Red still has interest. Even though the game is in pre-release status right now, they still have the interest going to like try and make sure the game is still a phenomenal experience for you when it gets in your hands and stuff like that. So to some degree, like I feel like this is a bit of non-news that Games Radar put out. Yeah, I called them out. I really shouldn't. That was bad tack, but I called them out. I'm sorry.
I mean, what games don't have a day one patch at this point? And it's for either gigs, but I mean, I assume that's gonna download with your pre-download anyway.
Sure. Did Assassin's Creed Unity have a day one patch?
No, it should have.
Oh man!
They need a complete overhaul that game. I swore off Assassin's Creed after that game because I played it day one. I loved Black Flag. That's my favorite one. And then I played Unity. I was like, man, this game is broken. Like, it's actually broken. Like, I can't. That was the first time I ever played a game like that where I was like, I can't even play it.
You're just like, why am I wasting my time?
I couldn't continue when I saw that my guy had no face, and it was like we literally saw his tongue and his eyeballs, and I was like, I can't play this game right now.
I had even worse. Like, you couldn't pick up certain collectibles, and like the game would crash. I was like, man, this. And then I didn't play Syndicate. I didn't play any other Assassin's Creed games after until eventually people were like, you gotta play Odyssey. You gotta play Odyssey. I was like, all right, but I'm gonna play Origins first.
It's terrible.
It's good now.
It's terrible. Let that be a reminder. It's terrible when one game kills the entire franchise, because wasn't there like 5 games before Unity came out, and then it hurt the sales of the next 2 games. Yeah. All right. So here's our final news topic for the night, and I'm going to read this one word for word directly from the site that I learned this one from. So just bear with me, guys, because I'm probably going to be cracking up laughing hysterically with this one. All right. A man's wife sells his PS5 system after she discovers he lied and said it was an air purifier. Okay, if you are following along in the chat, I've already put the link in there. Just go ahead and click the link and follow along with me here, because this is a good one. A Taiwanese man was one of the lucky few who actually got his hands on a PlayStation 5 console. Unfortunately, his wife has never been thrilled about the amount of video games he played before he ever got his hands on a PS5, so he had to hide the fact that he bought one from her. So what does he do? He told her that it wasn't a PlayStation, but an air purifier.
I'm like,
who pays $500 on an air purifier?
I'm like, first off, how do you get away with an excuse like that, for one? 2, like, knowing the wife, she should know what an air purifier looks like, and that for sure ain't no damn air purifier. Like, I look at, every time I look at the PS5, I'm like, yo, that's the PlayStation Wi-Fi router.
That's what I was going to say. Like, say it's a router.
Exactly.
Like, maybe my PlayStation 4 is so loud it can come off as an air purifier, but like the PS5, like, maybe a router.
I know some.
So
I know some women.
So, Lem, what you're telling me is like, oh, when I get sick, all I gotta do is turn the PS5 on, and it'll help me unclench.
Hey, it'll deionize the air.
Yeah. So I'll be able to breathe in with a stuffy nose.
Look, I know some women are going to be mad at me, but after I say this, but a lot of times women do not pay attention to electronics and appliances and stuff. So I'm a believer that he probably fooled her with this one.
I'm surprised she just didn't leave him, but she went and sold his damn PS5.
She must have laughed. She must have laughed. Like, how can you not laugh at that?
I have to assume that she's probably making all the money in this relationship.
Actually, you know what? With the state of the world right now, of how PlayStation's is, like, he probably made his $500 and then some back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because unfortunately for this fella, his wife was quickly able to tell the difference between a PlayStation and an air purifier and quickly sold the gaming console out from under her husband. According to the man...
I know he's probably beat himself up, like, just, damn it.
Actually,
she puts it on Facebook Marketplace. It's like, I have this air purifier. It's only $80. Here you go.
Actually, let me roll back my earlier statement, because according to the person that bought it from her, it was the cheapest price he'd ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's probably like, it's probably not worth that much as an air purifier. It's $60. You can have it.
It doesn't even move air. What's this thing good for? Did you guys click the link? Did you guys see the pictures? The pictures are great. It's a side by side. It was a side by side of the PlayStation and then the air purifier that they were talking about. I mean, I can see.
Oh man, that's a good line.
It's uncanny.
Yo,
that's unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
Dude, I bet you if you got your hands on PS5, if you see like things being if you see PS5s being sold for like $300, I would be aware it's probably this air purifier.
Oh man. Okay, so I figured that was a good one to end the news topics on. I need to go look for more comedic parts to end our news events on, because that one was good. All right, so it's time for the big topic, and I mentioned earlier about our big topic, and that is what makes a good game a hot commodity. I mean, seriously, let's talk about this for a second. What determines if a game is good versus bad, and what determines if a game is hot and must be included in all gamers' libraries? Who wants to go first?
Who wants to answer a deep philosophical question first?
I feel like one of the main things to make a game great is not just the graphics, but I feel like a good story and a good handle on the controls and on how to play, and if it's one of those functions to where it'll keep bringing the player back in more, like, because I feel like with a good story you'll be able to capture the attention of the player, and then of course graphics, because everyone expects graphics this day and age to be top notch, 4K, almost jumping out the screen.
Let me jump in here real fast. Does it need to have all those elements? I feel like games don't need all those elements specifically.
Not necessarily. The only reason I bring up graphics is because we're in an era where people care more about how the game looks than how it would play. Mm-hmm. And I think that as even though that's nice, I would rather have a good playing game and shitty graphics than a good looking game and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Nintendo player, so graphics are on the bottom of the barrel for me. I remember,
that's fair.
I played Nintendo for about a year straight without touching my PlayStation, and then I put on Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was like, oh my God, look at this. Like, I was just blown away. I mean, for a hot commodity game, I think really there's a different trend when it comes down to every generation. Like, PlayStation 1 JRPGs were the king. If you had a good story, if you had at that time, graphics, if you had a good story and there was replayability with that, and then in the PlayStation 3 era, it was a little more Western RPGs where there's a lot more customization and a lot more, open world type games. If you catch on to that, and that's probably going to make it the best. Right now, I don't know what a hot commodity game would be. But in my opinion, I think gameplay is king right now, because how much further can you go with graphics? Everything already really looks beautiful. And you want something that's going to bring you back with replayability, customization, and stuff like that. So I think that's where I'm going with. And story, obviously, for our first playthrough.
For a guy like me, like it's more story than anything else. Yeah, the game has a beautiful skin. Yeah, it's definitely in there. But like I was saying earlier, well, like with The Last of Us, like that was a game, in my opinion, that was perfection. But that's just my opinion. There was just so much about the game. It was a good looking game, yes, but it had an extremely well written story. And it actually had something that I invested in, because I love seeing character growth and stuff like that. I mentioned it before, and seeing that in the game is key for a guy like me. Just like Miles Morales, I'm playing Miles Morales right now, and I haven't beaten the game yet. I'm getting very close to beating it, and I've seen the character growth from this guy, and it's crazy because it's this high octane action game, with all this stuff going on, and there's a story, and there's an underlying story, there's a morality story in there as well, and stuff like that. So I think the it factor for me, for most part, like gameplay for sure, but story definitely, because a lot of these Final Fantasy games, I'm left scratching my head, because like the story is like, what the hell are you doing? What are we getting to right here? Which is why I'm so glad the Final Fantasy VII remake. Like I'm playing this game, and there's story elements that I can tell that they definitely improved upon in this game. And it's great. It's great to witness.
How far into it are you?
I'm still not past the last place. There's a funny story. I misplaced my game disc. I found it now, but I misplaced it. It was inside a case that it should not have been in. I want to say hurry up and finish it. I want to talk to you about this game, but Cyberpunk's coming out, and you still have to play Last of Us 2, so I'll talk to you about it in 5 years. More than likely, this is probably what's going to happen, because like there's nothing new going on in Monster Hunter right now. So like that's a game that honestly I feel like is about to be. I'm going to beat Miles Morales as quickly as possible. So my time's probably going to be divided between Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Fire Emblem. Thank you very much, Dan. Fire Emblem's going to be that game. As a matter of fact, I think I said it over the weekend on the Boss Rush podcast. Fire Emblem was that game that I unwind with. It's that game I play when it's like I don't want to play the hardcore stuff. Even though Fire Emblem, I'm not saying Fire Emblem is not a hardcore game, because I'm invested in it. It's one of those games it's like I'm in bed under covers playing this, And
it's a strategy RPG. You pick a move, you pick an attack. Like it's very, processed versus like having to be on your toes and aware.
Yep.
Right. So it makes sense.
Austin, did we hear from you yet?
Objectively, I don't know what makes a good game be, or makes a hot commodity, because there's been a lot of games that don't appeal to me that are absolutely blowing it up. Like for me, art style is what gets me first. Mm-hmm. If you have a unique and cool art style, that's what gets me interested in your game right off the bat. But then it's story and then gameplay. I don't care about graphics. I mean, I like 8-bit era type games, and I like 16-bit era type games, and I'll play anything as long as it's cool and different looking. If it looks like another game that I played before, I usually don't give it another look. Unless I hear that's got a good story or something. So, but that's all subjective. It's all subjective. I don't know objectively what makes a good game. I don't have the skill or the mindset to be like, oh, this game's gonna be big. I don't. Like, I just play what I like to play. I see what I like to see. When the biggest game that I was excited for Xbox was Scalebound. That got canceled.
Yes.
So I mean, the game I'm most excited for PS5 is Ratchet and Clank.
You know what?
Which
I'm glad you mentioned
Miles Morales. So.
I'm glad you mentioned Scalebound, because Scalebound and Quantum Break were the games that were practically going to get me to buy an Xbox. Mm-hmm. And then Scalebound got canceled. Quantum Break got announced it was coming to PC, and I was like, oh, don't need to spend that $400.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I got it because
it was $500.
but the Series S was like $300.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I got my Xbox much after it released.
Oh, there's that crazy Steam radiator thing in the background.
Is that your air purifier?
Yeah, that is my steam heater in the background.
You know,
it's 33 degrees out here in New York, so when it's below 60, it turns on.
Well, here's a question then. All right, to cap this off then, since we're kind of like have an idea of what we feel makes a game a hot commodity. Let's pick 3 games really quickly, and just have the rest of us, each person say 3 games, and the rest of us say whether or not we feel it's an it game or what. I'll start. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, it for sure.
That was it.
Yeah, that was legit.
Okay. Uncharted 2.
Oh yeah.
Initially, yes.
Yeah.
I'm terrible for that, because I know Austin has mixed feelings about Uncharted 2.
I like Uncharted 2. I am a very much in the minority that I don't think it's the best Uncharted.
Okay.
All right, and for, let me see, I did a Final Fantasy game, I did an Uncharted game. Let me see. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
That is definitely an it.
I'm gonna say no on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And the only reason why I agree with you. Oh, Austin, what's your opinion on Snake Eater?
When it came out, I was a kid, so I don't really know. That was a game I looked back on later. 2 and 3 I played on my Vita. That was actually the first time I played it.
Actually, I beat 3 on the Vita.
Yeah.
I originally had it when it came out on PS2, but there was something about the game, like I did not like the transition to open world. I did not. Even though technically it wasn't really open world, but like it was a different convention. Like, we were used to seeing, Solid Snake from that top-down view and all that stuff.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was something almost similar.
Almost similar, but not quite the same. It still had more elements of Metal Gear Solid than it had of its own intellectual property. But Snake Eater was, they dropped their ass off in that damn jungle, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? I was like, what?
That's how I felt playing Far Cry 2.
Snake Eater was like the only Metal Gear Solid that didn't hook me.
Yeah,
all the other ones did. Even 5 was one that hooked me.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 didn't hook me initially. Like, it took me. We came out on Vita. What was that? Like a decade later?
Yeah, I had to try to like it. That was my issue.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are my 3 games. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
All right.
Crash Bandicoot.
The first one, not the remake.
Very first one.
The very first one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Celeste, the indie game.
Ooh.
Very much so.
Okay, even though that's not the game for me, like, I've seen it in action and stuff like that, and I also say yes on that one. Like, it's not a game I want to. It's not a game that I actively want to play. but I do say it's up there.
How about you, Doug?
Wait, those were your three
No,
games?
What's your
yeah,
opinion
sure.
about?
Oh.
Yeah, sure, whatever. And then Skyrim.
Oh,
100%.
Oh my god.
See,
I was
I
in on Skyrim
I
day
feel
one.
like I don't know. I feel like Skyrim kind of ran its course, especially after they put it on Alexa.
Is this when it came out, or are we talking about now?
I think just overall as an entity, right? Like, did Skyrim ever have that it factor for you?
100%.
I have respect for the game, but it's not for me because I didn't have the best time with Morrowind.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I couldn't really get into it. I like watching other people play it, and I got some of the memes and all that, and then when I realized, oh shit, they're gonna try to put it on literally everything, and Alexa was the example, I was just like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, Austin, what you got?
BioShock Infinite.
Woo, you just came out swinging, did you? I'm gonna say yes on that one. Even though like that's a game, in my opinion, the ending did not stick the landing.
I haven't played it.
The series is good. I mean, I give it an it. Yeah, it's one of those games.
Shovel Knight.
Oh, wow, you are going big tonight. Yep,
I'm going with my favorites here, man.
Yeah. That's.
BioShock Infinite is my favorite game of all time. Well,
I picked two of my favorites, and I threw Snake Eater in there just to see what everybody was thinking.
I don't know. No, I'm just blanking on games. What about I'm trying to stick with PlayStation. I was gonna say a Zelda game, but I was trying to stick with PlayStation.
Well, no. Which Zelda game?
I was actually thinking Link Between Worlds, the DS one.
You know, Link Between Worlds. I like the game because it played on my nostalgia for A Link to the Past. I like that game, but in all seriousness, I just felt like I just want Link to the Past because Four Swords was that game.
Yeah.
I love Four Swords.
I haven't played it.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never owned a Nintendo handheld console since Game Boy Color.
Okay.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they bring
Hopefully
they bring back the Game Boy Advance library to like the eShop and stuff like that because I want to play.
Zelda's 35th anniversary is coming next year. We're gonna see them all.
Because I want to play the Minish Cap again.
Dan, there's so many games on DS, the 3DS, DS era you missed.
I
There's
know.
so many games.
I swear it was like
the Power Block guys just tell me to go out, find a DS, and play everything because I'm missing out on every Zelda. There's like 30 Zelda games.
You know, if I wasn't quite ready to break up with my 3DS, I'd send you mine right now.
Yeah, I have a Yoshi Special Edition 3DS. I can't part with it.
I have the Monster Hunter. I have the
played it
Monster
years.
Hunter Edition one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. I was working at Target at that time.
All right, Doug, what's your 3 games?
So, right now, like one of my top games at the moment, since I'm sticking with like PlayStation, is Yakuza.
The very first one?
I would say not the English dub one, because we all know how the very first one on PS2
Oh,
was.
you're being too specific, man. Because I can't give that one a vote of any way in confidence because I'd never played.
Well, you've never played? Oh my goodness!
I'll be honest with you, I haven't played any of the Yakuza games, and which is crazy because thanks to like different promotions and stuff, I have 4 different ones. Like I have the 2 that are on Game Pass right now.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
them for the side stuff. I don't really care about the story, and I don't really like the fighting, but the side craziness stuff is what gets me every time.
Now I've been watching Doug play the Like a Dragon, and that is making me want to put money down, especially because it's PS5 backwards compatible. That's making me want to put money down.
Dan, did you have anything you wanted to say, whether it was it or not?
I haven't played it actually, so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's see. My second game, of course, is Resident Evil 3.
The original?
Yes, the original.
No.
I actually never played 3. I've never played 3.
If there's multiple games in the series that are better than that one, then no.
What is wrong with Resident Evil 3?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I just think if there's better games, like I think Resident Evil 4 was the it game, or Resident Evil 2.
Wait, okay, so my thing is, I loved Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but I had better fun with Resident Evil 2 from the PS1 era.
Yeah.
Now in the remake era, I actually like Resident Evil 3 more than I like Resident Evil 2. And a lot of gamers will tell you Resident Evil 3 is flawed because like they cut out like 2 segments of the game and all this stuff. And I'm like, y'all really want to fight that giant worm in the cemetery, don't y'all?
Or y'all really want to be in the clock tower for no reason?
I don't know what this worm in the cemetery analogy is, but all I can think of is the Alaskan bullworm.
So in Resident Evil 3, there's a giant worm known as the Graveyard that you have to fight.
Yeah, you fight him You fight him twice because like you initially encounter him in the graveyard, and then you fight him again in the underground in the sanitation No,
what it is when you're on the way back to the train to escape, the worm breaks the floor under you, and you're in like some area to where it looks like a sewer, and you need to kind of activate the ladder or fight it, and then you fight it in the graveyard for one last time.
Oh, by the way, this guy speed runs all the Resident Evil games.
So you were fighting the tongue. You weren't fighting the worm. You were fighting the tongue the first time.
I only speed run like 2 of the games.
I played Resident Evil 1, 4, and 7, and I don't know why, but that's just the way that it's happened. Is I played 1 on when they remastered it or remade it, and then 4 I played on GameCube, and then 7 I played, and I really liked 7, but I never went back to 2 and 3 and 5 and 6, and I definitely plan on playing 2 and 3, the remakes.
Honestly,
2 is such a blast.
Yes, it is.
Game.
Honestly, to an extent, I like Code Veronica more than I like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and that says a lot because I basically back when Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was a thing, I could speedrun that sucker.
Wait, do you guys not like Resident Evil 4? Doug, you seemed a little upset that I...
Because Resident Evil 4 is so overrated. People praise the fuck out of Resident Evil 4 like it's God's gift to the entire gaming console and all that. Like they literally.
What about you as a person? Not what everybody else thinks.
Take the bias out of it.
What did you think when you played it the first 40 times? Because I played it that many times.
Well, when I played it, I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was the greatest game. Like to me, I still feel like Leon is a character that still needs more development. Like he's willing to drop everything the moment Ada comes into the picture. He's not that appealing to me.
I feel like Leon's a much better character in the Resident Evil movies, and I'm talking about the CG movies, not the Resident Evil 5 that he was in.
6.
This is probably
he was in it was RE5.
It was Chris was in RE5. Leon was in RE6.
Okay. Ed and I just did a recap of the entire Resident Evil movie franchise. One was
the movie franchise.
Yeah, the movie franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the 5th movie.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I had such a visceral reaction to Resident Evil 4 when you mentioned it is because Resident Evil 4 like changed a little too much, and I'm one of those people that I get that 3D motion sickness / vertigo with certain games, and that game the controls were way too tight. So like when you're doing that little fast about face thing, that whipping around, like it made me sick to my stomach. I had to stop playing the game. So I have a bad experience of it. Like apparently it's been corrected now in like all of its various iterations as it's been re-released.
What did you play it on the first time?
Initially I played it on GameCube. And then
the GameCube controller was like perfect for that game too.
It was. And then I gave it another attempt when it came out on PS2. It still wasn't the best. I was still getting that knot in my stomach, so I didn't really pick it up again. And I'm hearing the Switch version is the superior version.
I replayed it on Switch, and it was one of those things where I was like, because I had only played it on GameCube, and I was like, is this another game I want to leave in the past? But I ended up playing it, and I was like, God damn, this is so good.
So
I love that game.
Honestly, eventually I'm going to have to play it because I've seen playthroughs. I've actually watched like the video documentary where basically someone turned around and made the best parts of the game into a movie to watch on YouTube and stuff like that. And it's got me interested. I mean, like the Ada Wong stuff is a little crazy in my opinion, but yeah.
But the thing is too, like I'm not a big shooter guy, and this is probably the most I would say this is the most approachable Resident Evil game there is. So people who really love that genre of gaming, it's probably isn't for them for that reason. So, I do understand that aspect as well.
I still have one more game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my last game is probably going to be The Evil Within 2.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
The Evil Within 2.
I've never played that one, so I can't make a really good vote on it, but I've seen stuff on it, and it looks like it has the potential to be an it game.
There was a boss fight that I saw a clip of that looked really cool, but other than that, it didn't appeal to me because the first Evil Within didn't appeal to me either. So it just kind of...
I never played it.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those I'll get to it when I get to it games, because, like I said earlier, like art style is like a big thing for me, and it just kind of looked like another typical horror game. I was like, well, I'll get to it when I get to it, kind of a thing. But maybe if I played it, I would feel different.
All right, well, there we have it. So it's hard to say for sure what makes games a hot commodity, but it sounds like gameplay is one of the biggest aspects of it, because in this day and age, every game looks phenomenal as far as graphics go. Story has something to play into it, but at the same time, I think one thing we missed was replay factor.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with like the kind of the trendy part of it. Like the first time you go through, it's story, but then the replay factor is what brings you back, and that's the game that kind of always takes off, right?
Yeah.
Who has time to replay games?
Man, I have a backlog of games. It's probably like 500 games deep now.
Yeah.
I keep saying I have the biggest backlog, but then I keep playing Fire Emblem over and over.
Yeah.
Man, who you kidding?
I can't replay a game without feeling guilty. I love the BioShock series, and I will replay those every now and then. I'll replay like Arkham games and stuff like that, like series I love. But every time I play, I'm like, I could be getting trophies in like some other game. I could be playing some other game.
Man, you sound like me every time I decide to do a front to back of the Dead Space series. You sound just like me. It's like I could have been playing something else.
Yeah. But I mean, there's always gonna be those games like I will forever play Bioshock and Arkham and Shovel Knight and Mega Man, and like I'll always replay those games just because I can go back to them. But
all right. So we're gonna wrap that one up. You guys think we have time to hit rumor control? Because I it's a fun one.
I'm good.
All right, so Rumor Control, just for people who don't know about it, Rumor Control is basically the segment where we sit down and we talk about the stuff that in the video gaming community, there's something that's always being spoken about, and sometimes it's not even true. Sometimes it's just somebody just putting it out there, in the ether to figure things out. And we're here to either figure out if it is a rumor or if there's some truth to it, or let you know, like, hey, don't even bother with it. So tonight, this rumor is kind of being sparked on something that we've seen. Has Gran Turismo 7 been pushed back from the first half of 2021? The reason why we asked that question, wait a second. Oh no, I lost the link. Oh well. Okay.
You lost the link.
I lost the link.
You want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, put it in the chat for me, please. So basically, this is an odd one for us here. Terminology for Gran Turismo 7's release date has apparently changed and is making gamers scratch their heads. On Monday, a new video for the PlayStation 5 debuted on PlayStation Europe's YouTube page, and it shows Gran Turismo 7 as a quote-unquote coming in 2021 title. This changes things because November's PlayStation 5 launch trailer, which featured Gran Turismo 7 along with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and Returnal, it showed that the game was slated for the first half of 2021. But now the jargon inside the newest trailer shows that it's coming in 2021. So
that link was from last week's story. That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and it's just like no, it's all jargon. It looks like I'm some kind of Russian bot.
I'll see if I can find it. So right. But what do you guys think? Do you guys okay? So I know this like Digital Polyphony takes a while to make these games. So remember in November when they said that it was going to be a first half 2021 title, and we were like, what? You telling me a Gran Turismo game is going to come out in the first year of a PlayStation cycle and not like the end of life for a PlayStation?
It was one of those where I could see it happening, just the way Sport came out and the way that they didn't have 7 was supposed to be a PS4 game, like, and then just that never got put together. But it was like this is a little too early. I feel like it's a little too early, and they're kind of in trouble here with Gran Turismo. They really got to nail this. They are getting smoked by Forza and the racing.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I have a lot of friends in the racing community. I'm not a big sim racer. I definitely like arcade racers more, but all my friends have switched over to Forza. Like all of them. Mm-hmm. The Gran Turismo just I think ever since really 5 was probably the last one. But 6 was kind of one they were iffy on, but then it didn't come out, and they got Sport, but Sport seemed to be better for the VR than it really did as just a base game, and so they were like, Forza's knocking out of the park, and if you don't like Forza, you got Forza Wildlands, or is it Forza Horizon? Forza Horizon. So
I just downloaded Forza Horizon because I got a new monitor. And let me tell you, it's an ultra wide, and I never thought I'd fall in love with a simulation racing game.
Have you done the Lego stuff?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, you gotta check out the Lego DLC.
Okay,
it's great.
I kind of agree with you, Austin. I feel like Gran Turismo might be in trouble if they don't do something here, because as a PlayStation gamer, I've had very lukewarm feelings towards the last few Gran Turismo games. As a matter of fact, I completely skipped the last two. My roommate had the one that was my roommate had Sport, and I played that maybe for all of 40 minutes and just moved on. But also I'm the type of person like I spent a million hours on Gran Turismo 1, 2, and 3 back in the day. So So I was actually getting tired of like just doing the whole like the whole like performance tuning and all that stuff. It was you know, and shoot, to show you how hardcore I was in a racing league where we would upload our information online and stuff and then make comparisons, and we actually had simulated like championship cups and stuff like that. Like I was big
That's
into
awesome.
it. I was big into it.
Pedal and everything.
No. I was not.
You were that hard.
I've never been that hardcore where I need the pedals and the steering wheel and all that stuff. I've never been that hardcore. As a matter of fact, I think the most peripheral crazy I ever got was like with the music game stuff. So like Dance Dance Revolution with the pads, Beat Mania with the freaking DJ controller, and of course DJ Hero. I did not go the Rock Band route because that's just way too much stuff in my house.
I have a distant uncle, and I won't say how much he spent on his racing gear with the pedal and the seat that moves.
He
with
has
the car
a seat.
and stuff,
Oh
the
man.
monitors. He's spent more on that than I've spent on an actual brand new car. So I like, it's insane the length and extent that people go into these games.
Right?
I respect it though. I respect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you got that money, why not?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Dan, Doug, did you guys want to add on that, or?
I mean, if the game is getting pushed back, then, you know, they should take whatever time that they need to try to also, you know, fix whatever they're fixing to optimize the game and make it either accessible or playable or catch their community's attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that, but they shouldn't take too much time, otherwise they just might lose it to Forza.
I feel like this entry to Gran Turismo is probably going to be a game changer. I mean, the stuff I've seen on it, if it's to be believed, like it looks like it's going to be an amazing game and stuff like that, you know. But I will say this: take a page from CD Projekt Red's playbook, push the game back if you need time to work on it.
Yeah. It's not like we're gonna run out of games to play.
That's true. That's true.
And I think this particular racing community, you know, the majority of them, they can wait, and I think they want a good game rather than just a game to be thrown out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're going to sink thousands and thousands of hours into this. I mean, the only Gran Turismo game I played was Gran Turismo 2.
Yeah.
And I burnt myself out so bad off of that game
Same
that I
here.
never touched a Gran Turismo game again.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm done.
I didn't touch it until Sport with the VR. That was the first time I had played Gran Turismo since 2.
Yeah,
So,
that's a little different with the VR.
yeah. And it's great. Like, I really enjoyed it. But, yeah, it's...
Man,
you can burn yourself out unless you're really into it.
Man, let me tell you, when Gran Turismo 4 came out, like, man, how loud my heavy sigh was could be heard around the world. All right, so there you have it. If Gran Turismo, like right now, it looks like it's coming in 2021. So, you know, like, I mean, it's not that big of a shocker for me if it doesn't come out on time, in all honesty, because most Gran Turismo games have never come out the day they're supposed to come out when they're initially announced. So, you know, hey, I mean, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Returnal are still coming. And we know for sure those are games I'm getting. I'm getting both of those games. As a matter of fact, I don't know which one I'm more excited for, Ratchet and Clank, or if I'm more excited for Returnal, because Returnal looks like my type of game.
I mean, I know what I'm more excited for, but I'm also excited for Returnal. Because I love them. I love them.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, so guys, what have you guys been playing or doing? Nelly couldn't be with us tonight because she is taking finals. It's finals week for her. So that's been her thing, and we appreciate you, Dan, for coming in and sitting in for her tonight.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, you guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what games have you been playing right now?
So when it comes to PlayStation, I've actually been kind of slogging along with Crash 4. Those levels are long, and they've got a lot of hidden shit in them, so I'm kind of exploring around everything there.
I've also heard that game is frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, I play a couple of levels at a time, so and then I just kind of move on. I wrapped up Ghost of Tsushima recently, probably a month ago, and mostly on PlayStation. I kind of just play sports games with my friends, Madden and 2K.
See, I need to pick up Ghost of Tsushima. I'm kicking myself because that flash sale that you and Celeste told me about, that thing was only on sale for like 5 hours. I actually saw online complaints because it dropped to $20, and I saw people when I looked it up. I saw people complaining. They actually made a Reddit post talk about how it was only on sale for like X amount of hours, and I was like, that's not really a real flash sale. Well, technically it's a flash sale because it happens, whatever. But yeah, right. It's like no one even knew it was on sale. So how are you gonna? Yeah. Anything else you're
playing? Aside from a couple of Nintendo games, that's about it.
Okay. Doug, what's in your system right now besides Yakuza Like a Dragon? No, you can talk about it.
Well, I'm actually at the end of the game.
Oh yeah?
Last night on YouTube I made it to the end game of it. So tomorrow I'm gonna be finishing up Yakuza Like a Dragon. Mm-hmm. I still need to go back to playing Crash 4 and a couple of the other Yakuza games. I'm thinking about going back to finishing up this DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, since I've been playing that a little bit on and off, and I'm thinking I might start No More Heroes, since I have No More Heroes 1 and 2 on my Switch. Either that, or I might just start it from No More Heroes, Heroes Paradise on the PS3.
All right, cool. Austin.
On Xbox I'm still playing Alice, and on Switch I'm still playing Luigi's Mansion. I'm slow through games. I have to explore everything, and I'm playing a game on every console, and I'm also reading books more all of a sudden.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
It's become a problem as far as like getting games done. But on PlayStation, I really didn't play anything. But I did play some new stuff. I played Black Ops Cold War. I spoke my opinions last week's show. The multiplayer is just kind of and I'm looking forward to the Double XP and Season 1. And then I also played Rocket Arena, which I played on Xbox, but I was so interested in the game that I was playing that I forgot about it. I ended up playing it on PlayStation. I was like, oh yeah, I did play this game again. I thought it was a brand new game that was coming on PlayStation that we were getting free that month. It turns out I played it on Xbox months ago.
Wait, which game?
Rocket Arena.
Oh, okay.
That was EA's 3-on-3 third-person Overwatch character-based. Yeah, it's just, I was like, why? But I was like, maybe I'm actually... ironically, though, I was actually really good at the game, playing on multiplayer. I was like, maybe I like this game now that I'm good at it.
Maybe I like this game.
But, and then I also played Worms Rumble, which was the other free game on PS Plus.
Oh, yeah.
I actually enjoy it. It's fun. I think it's up to 30. We had 30 people in one game.
What?
It's free for all. People just shooting at each other, wild weapons. It's a giant map. It's a big map. There's plenty to explore during the map.
Uh-huh.
And I think they have a free for all where you just try and get as many kills as you can. And then there's one where you could do teams, and it's like a battle royale where you're the last team to survive, or there's single battle royale as well. And it's pretty fun. I'm not good at it, but it's pretty fun. And I like the Worms games, and I think this was actually a good way to kind of differentiate themselves, because I felt like every Worms game has been pretty much the same.
Mm.
But this one, you're moving. It's not like you take turns. You're all moving at the same time. It's really chaotic, and it was pretty fun.
Okay.
So.
All right. As for me, I am finally about to finish up Miles Morales. Yay! So that's one game that won't be pulling my attention for Cyberpunk when it comes out on Thursday. Actually, it's funny because I just looked at Steam and the date change. It says the 9th now that it's playable for me.
Oh boy!
Yeah. Yeah, so Spider-Man is on borrowed time. If I don't finish it, it's
Logan's gonna kill you.
It sounds like you need to finish it tonight.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, as soon as we get out of here, I'm probably gonna spend some time on it, which means no Fire Emblem for me tonight, which is the other game I'm actively playing right now. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I promise you, Dan, by Saturday we'll have some stuff to talk about in that game.
Oh, we can't talk about it till it's over, so you got to find that disc.
Oh, okay. Oh, I found it.
Because when the game finishes, that's when there's something to talk about.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know. All right. So just a reminder before we head out, head over to bossrushgames.com and take a look at all the content that Boss Rush has to offer. This week, our friends over at Arsenal X discussed the BioWare shakeups. Discussed the BioWare shakeups. Arsenal X happens on Sunday nights, as well as the keys to making a great sandwich in their 120th episode. Which you know what, I will say this. Since I've become a member of Boss Rush Games, all I do is eat now. My personal trainer is going to kill me come January 1st. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's a perfect time. New Year's resolution to say it won't do it anymore.
Dan over at Pow Block with Eddie V and the rest of the crew just wrapped up their 224th episode. But that's not available just yet online. So just head over and check out episode 223 and their overall disappointment with Nintendo shutting down the Smash Bros. Tournament. I caught the discussion. I thought it was a pretty good discussion. And you know what, Dan? I swear, I feel like you should be a lawyer. It's like all the clauses and all the catch 22s to keep people from going to jail.
I don't know. I guess some of these things kind of just make sense to me.
Yeah.
When I see Nintendo's had a ton of bad publicity lately, but when I look at it, I'm just like, those are just standard business practices.
That's true, and I actually understand that. So even though I may sound like I'm just coming in, all guns blazing at Nintendo, I understand. They're a company. They're in the business of making money. They have to protect their properties, because if you don't protect your properties, they're not going to be financially beneficial for you in the long run and stuff like that. So yeah, I get it. I'm just one of those passionate gamers, but sometimes I just feel bad for actual Nintendo fans, because I feel like Nintendo fans, they are like the real part of the gaming community in all seriousness. For every one PlayStation gamer, there's like 7 Nintendo gamers.
Right. And I just do wish that Nintendo had that human element about them when it came to their PR team, and just even being somewhat transparent about things that are going on.
Yeah.
Because there are different ways to handle these situations. I'm not going to sit here and defend Nintendo for doing these things, but I will look at it and be like, okay, well, they're not doing anything out of line.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I
honestly, with all the stuff that goes on with Nintendo properties and stuff, I'm surprised we don't hear of more lawsuits, in all honesty. So yeah, I will say that Nintendo is not the bad guy that we try to make them be online. They're not. They're at the end of the day, they're doing what they have to do for their business, and I completely understand it, because if I owned the company I work for, the IT company and stuff like that, I'd be doing my damn. Well, I'm supposed to act like it's my company anyway, but I'd be doing my damnedest to protect the property. I would.
Right. And with my job, I have to do a lot of this when it comes to marketing, and I pay attention to this stuff a lot. So this is kind of just...
See, that's why you have a better aptitude for it, because you're in something that's more in line to that.
Exactly.
Whereas I'm just a worker bee.
Just kind of click with it, and and maybe this is just me in life, but I never think about anything with emotion. Like, I just, like, my first thing is always like, this is why this happened. Like, everything's so regulated in my mind, you know?
Yep. Yep. All right. So yeah, you guys out there, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. You can keep up the chat and the conversation going with us over at Twitter at @PS_Crossroads, where we hold it down with more news and events. But before I let you guys go, give yourself some shout outs. Where can we find you guys at? Dan, go first.
You can find me on Twitter at DCDM99. You can also see me on Nintendo Pow Block. The episode that's coming out tomorrow is where Ed and I really talk about eating my shoe and the speculation on the Switch Pro that's going to come out in spring. And check out some of my articles on www.bossrushgames.com.
All right, cool. Doug.
So you can find me on Twitter at DougRedfield87. You can find me on YouTube at Doug's Gaming Channel and Twitch at DougGaming05. I'm also a co-partner to an indie company called Red Age Studios, in which you can look at our upcoming game that we're making called Overnight Zero. You can find us on Instagram at instagram.com/Red Age Studios and Facebook as well as facebook.com/Red Age Studios.
All right. Awesome.
You can find me at PlayStation on Twitter. You can find me on that same name on PSN. You can find me at Red Fanta Panda on Xbox. And just ask me for my Switch code, because I won't remember it. And then, of course, check me out on Trash Talk on Wednesdays. Dan, are you on this week? Are you coming back on this week?
Trash Talk I can't do this week. 3 nights in a row recording. I think my girlfriend might stab me.
Yeah, I understand that.
See, you might wake up with her standing over you with a knife, talking about, so when are we going to spend time together?
Yeah. See, I'm fortunate my wife works. She works pretty late in the night, so 3 nights recording isn't bad. But yeah, if she worked days, I'd probably be in the doghouse more than I already am. But yeah, so yeah, check me out on Trash Talk. Check me out on Land Party on Thursdays. I don't know who's going to be on that show this week. I really don't know. I'm in charge of it, which is scary.
Oh wait, let me know if you need. Wait, Thursday.
Yeah.
Because Ed and I are doing something tomorrow night. We're doing an optional opinion about GameStop, which I'm not sure if what I think I must have gotten drafted because of my.
That might get scary.
Ed has some hot takes there. I can't wait for that. Ed always has hot takes. My computer overheats every time he spits them out.
I swear, I swear, like I always know when something's going on in the Twitter chat because like my phone just starts vibrating like
when it's popping off and there's 90 messages, you know Ed is throwing out something. See,
I like to have the notifications off just because, I try to turn notifications off for everything except for text messages and phone calls. But something about it, just like I'll be listening to a podcast or listening to music or whatever, and then all I hear is ding, ding, ding. I'm like, oh, there goes Ed. There goes LeRon. There you go.
Wait, how I get in it?
Well, usually you're in it with Ed.
Oh, it's always LeRon starting to pile on Ed.
We love you. We love you, Ed. I love you, Ed. Despite what these guys are saying, I love you, man.
So check out Land Party and check out Short Sighted Cinema. It's a new movie podcast that I'm part of, and we are watching the Star Wars Christmas special, the original.
No!
Lego Star Wars Christmas special, the new one. So we'll be watching both of those and podcasting about it.
Oh my god!
I am looking forward to the Lego one. I will say that. I'm not looking forward to the one that I'm gonna have to just watch on YouTube because no one cares if you copyright that, or no one cares about a copyright for that.
You're not watching the Family Guy one?
Oh, see, we might have to. I have to.
Right.
All right, and as for me, you can catch me at Exodus803 on various social medias. Also, my Twitch channel, which you're watching this, tonight, twitch.tv/Exodus803. And Exodus803 is also my gamer tag. So like you can find me on the various. I'm pretty much on every service with that. So Steam, PlayStation Network, Xbox. I'll give you guys my Switch code. That thing's obnoxious.
Hey, if you throw your Switch code on our Discord or on our Boss Rush game, we've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers lately. So
As a matter of fact, do you have the Discord info? What is it? Because I meant to add that in here, but I did not.
So Discord, it's kind of tough to just plug live. We should probably just put it in one of our headers and say find our Discord there.
As a matter of fact, yes, that probably works. Let me see something here.
I did download. I got Smash Bros. Downloaded now, so I don't have an excuse not to get my ass beat.
I mean, regardless, it's a lot of fun. David and Ed from the Pow Blog podcast, we've been having a good time playing.
All right. Well, that's our time for the night. Everyone here at Crossroads and the rest of the Boss Rush Games family wants you all to have a great night. Go out there, of course. Play games. Be better. Have fun. Be nice to everybody. Can I add anything else that's positive and uplifting? Shoot. We've got one more. We've got one more show before we're off for Christmas week.
Stay clean and healthy.
Stay clean and healthy, okay. And then Austin,
Eat plenty of fiber.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Austin, are we coming back for New Year's week? Are we coming back for that week?
I'm down, honestly.
Okay.
If you all are down, so we'll see. We can do an end of the year kind of thing, just a fun episode. We don't have to do news. I don't know. I'm down for whatever.
As a matter of fact, that one will be pretty unscripted.
Let me pitch an idea. How about a year in review for PlayStation?
A year in review for PlayStation. Not a bad idea. Do you want to come? Do you want to come back for that one?
I'll come back for that one.
All right,
sure.
All right, cool. Well, that's it for tonight. We'll be back here next week for one more show, and then we'll be off for Christmas. So you guys have a good night out there. Thanks to my panel for joining me tonight. You guys are the best, and that's our show for tonight. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Take care.